Federal government's delegation visit Gusau condemns acts of students' abduction in its entirety.
Abducted Jangebe female students yet to be released, says Zamfara State Government.
Federal High Court orders forfeiture of proceeds of vessel sale.
On Good Morning Nigeria today, our focus is on banditry and kidnapping in the country. Which way out?
Yeah, too many discourses at the different fora, online and offline. There are talks on the underlying causes of insecurity and the means of tackling such in different parts of the country.
You're right, Kirian. And of course, the increasing threats to life and property, every day we get confronted by it, especially, of course, with the ugly incidents of banditry and kidnapping running for several months now, and most especially in the northwestern part of the country.
And it is truly disheartening that within the period of 3 months from Kankara to Kagara and Jangebe in Talata Mafara of Katsina, Niger and Zamfara respectively, the abduction of students and some others in the environment called to halt this very worrying social malaise, kidnapping.
And of course, there is this twin of banditry, which is also, of course, gaining momentum as criminals and perpetrators appear to be emboldened by the day in their modus operandi, even daring to demand for negotiation with the state over those who are in their custody.
Yes, indeed, Kingsley, and we have also witnessed and heard of mediations and negotiations over abductees in some locations, brazen talks and threats from the criminal elements over seemingly weakened engagements of the different tiers of government. This certainly shouldn't be.
You're right, Kirian, and indeed this ought not to be. Now, the onslaught against banditry, kidnapping, and other forms of criminality should, experts say, be strategic in order to forestall a situation where, of course, the protection of life and property gets imperiled.
Well, and most certainly that is why President Muhammadu Buhari's message resonates on all fronts as his administration works on containing the ugly trend, warning the bandits not to mistake government's restraint for humanitarian goals of protecting innocent lives as a weakness or a sign of fear of irresolution.
According to President Buhari, no criminal group can be too strong to be defeated by the government. He adds, the only thing standing between the security forces and the bandits is the rule of engagement. Now, President Buhari warning to the bandits and other sponsors resonates with the fact that his administration will not succumb to blackmail by bandits who target school students in the expectation of huge ransom payment.
Yeah, but then, Kingsley, with renewed abductions, some are being rescued or freed. The cases come and other violent attacks fueled by banditry, skirmishes all over the place. Where should the common ground be for the nation to get out of this quagmire of distress on the school safety system, danger to lives and livelihoods, and the overall insecurity?
Well, pertinent questions you have raised there, Kirian. We shall, of course, pose those concerns as well as others to our guests in the course of our conversation segment on to this edition of Good Morning Nigeria. I'm Kingsley Osadolo, and I welcome you to the program. We're live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority and reaching you from our headquarters studios in the nation's capital, Abuja.
And I'm Kirian Umai, also welcoming you to the program. The first in the new week and the new month of March. We shall have our complimentary segments as always, and that means we'll bring you morning news and, of course, those segments that will be a newspaper review business news, and others. For now, Noleen Abel-Ameh is our guide on Good Morning News.
Good morning, Kirian and Kinsley. Good morning, Nigeria. Here is the news. The federal government has described the abduction of students of the government girls' secondary school, Jangebe, as inhumane and condemns the act in its totality. This is contained in President Muhammadu Buhari's message to the governor and the people of Zamfara State over the students' abduction. A federal government delegation led by Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika paid a sympathy visit to the state and enumerates federal government's readiness to beef up security and intensify the fight against banditry and terrorism in the country. The minister calls for collective prayers for the safety of the girls and their quick release. The governor of the state, Muhammad Bello Matawale, thanked President Buhari and reaffirms the state's commitment to synergize with the federal government to fight insecurity.
The wherewithal to attack frontally this banditry and events of this nature.
Because of the huge landmass of the state and different camps of the leaders of these banditry activities, we need more and more presence of security in such areas.
The Emir of Anka and Chairman Zamfara State Council of Chiefs, Alhaji Atahiru Muhammad Ahmed, has described the series of students' abduction in the northern part of the country as a monumental tragedy that spells doom for education sector in the region, saying decisive measures must be taken to address the profiling crime. The Emir made the remarks when he led other members of the council on a sympathy visit to Governor Bello Muhammad at Government House, Gusau, over the recent abduction of students at Government Girls Science Secondary School, Jangebe, in Talata Mafara local government area of the state. The monarch expressed regrets that the Zamfara incident is fifth in the series of students' abduction in the country within the last few years, with huge negative impact on the education sector in the region. Meanwhile, the Zamfara state government has debunked speculation in some online media outlets that the abducted students of Government Girls Science Secondary School, Jangebe, have been released. A statement by the press secretary to the governor, Jamilu Magaji, indicates that since Friday, when the girls were abducted by gunmen, Governor Bello Muhammad and his aides have been making frantic efforts to ensure the safe release of the victims. Magaji adds that such unfounded claims will only further hurt the victims' parents, government and the security agencies while aggravating an already difficult situation. The state government will immediately and happily inform the world as soon as the girls are released, the statement concludes. Away from security to other issues now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has ruled out any increment in the ex-depot price of petrol in March 2021. A statement by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Dr. Kenny Obateru, indicates that the corporation is not contemplating any rise in the price of petrol in March in order not to jeopardize ongoing engagement with organized labor and other stakeholders on an acceptable framework that will not expose the ordinary Nigerian to any hardship. NNPC also cautioned petroleum product marketers not to engage in arbitrary price increase for hoarding of petrol in order not to create artificial scarcity and unnecessary hardship for Nigerians. The corporation adds that it has enough stock of petrol to keep the nation well supplied for over 40 days and urges motorists to avoid panic buying. The statement called on relevant regulatory authorities to step up monitoring of the activities of marketers with a view to sanctioning those involved in product hoarding or arbitrary increase of pump price. The federal government single treasury account TSA is to be boosted with the sum of $919,202. This is sequel to the order of the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt, on the final forfeiture of the said amount being proceeds from the sale of a seized vessel to the federal government. The court specifically ordered Union Bank of Nigeria PLC, Port Harcourt branch, to remit the money into the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission ICPC Federal Government Recovery Account domiciled at the Central Bank of Nigeria. Employment generation, engaging the youth meaningfully and broadening the nation's security structure to accommodate the grassroots will help in curtailing the increased wave of violence across the country. This is the opinion of some Nigerians while speaking on checking violence across the country.
That's why we come out as an NGO to give our little we can do for this nation.
Peace and security is very important for any nation to develop. And we in the Niger Delta or South-South, we are not an exception.
By the time we start giving concession to the less privileged, peace will set in.
We have to return back to God. We have to fear. He said the fear of the Lord is beginning of wisdom.
Youth of Niger Delta and Nigeria at large, we have a role to play to make sure there is peace.
To health matters now, Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has confirmed that the expected 4 million doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines will arrive the country on Tuesday, barring any change in plans. The SGF made this known in a video message released to the media last Saturday night.
Should depart India on the 1st of March 2021 at 10:30 p.m. in the night and arrive Abuja on the 2nd of March 2021 at about 11:10 a.m. in the morning. So we are making preparations for that. But the truth about it is that as we receive the vaccines, this one is coming from the covered facility, about 4 million doses of vaccines are coming from the covered facility on this one trip. We're supposed to have about 16 million in the first quarter from the covered facility. And expecting by the time they supply all the range, we are expecting that they will supply about 84 million doses from the covered facility, which is free of charge and is supposed to cover about 20% of the Nigerian population.
In the meantime, 240 new COVID-19 infections have been recorded in Nigeria in the last 24 hours, bringing Nigeria's caseload to 155,657. Data from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) indicate that the new infections occurred in 13 states and the FCT, beginning with Anambra, which recorded 85 cases, Lagos 82, Osun 17, Ogun 10, Kwara 9, FCT 8, Kano 7, Abia 6, Borno 4, Edo, Bayelsa and Kaduna recorded 2 cases each, Rivers 1. So far, 155,657 cases have been confirmed, while 133,768 COVID-19 cases have been discharged, and the death toll is now 1,907. That's the morning news for now. The program continues with Kinsley and Kieran after this break. I am Noleen Abel-Ameh.
I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire. Teacher no more. A fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Teacher no more. A fẹ́
Ajebo na better school for last gidi. Not be all this on a rugged school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
Second, it's called Oja Village. Kadesi, we no happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders too. Hey, we are trying, shao. Sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was interested in that position?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I mean, that's why I talk with that now.
Not for me. Not for me because of Pamio.
The second wave of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic is upon us.
To safeguard lives of our people, government has signed the health protection regulations, which makes wearing a face mask mandatory in public places.
Wear a mask. Keep social and physical distancing. Avoid crowded places. Wash your hands regularly with soap and clean water. And use hand sanitizer.
COVID-19 is real. Do not be infected. Do not spread it. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
My culture preaches peace. My culture preaches peace. My culture preaches peace. 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 My culture preaches peace.
Even our religion
preaches peace.
If our culture preaches peace,